So you would have seen last week's video, Andy was bogged, we got it fixed mechanically, but what else are we going to find inside the car when we start cleaning it? It's full of mud, it's full of debris, it's full of water, it's just full of stuff. Let's get through and see what actually happens when you try and revive a bogged car. First thing we're going to tackle is the air filter. So when we pulled it out of the glassy, it was soaking wet. So we need to definitely change that. Now I'm sure once we get inside it, there's going to be a bit of dirt underneath too. So let's pull it apart and see what it looks like. Before we get started on all this, I just wanted to take a minute. We're not professional mechanics. We're not actually hugely mechanically minded. We're bush mechanics at best, and we can fix stuff if we need to. But what happened in the glass house last weekend was something beyond our scope of knowledge. We didn't know how much damage the car had been done. That's why we went and put it on a trailer. That's why we didn't drive it anywhere. I would always recommend, if you do have any deep water crossings and something happens to your vehicle, I would definitely seek professional advice, as we have done, because you don't know what you're going to damage. You don't know what's going on inside the engine, or I don't anyway. So the best thing we could do was drag it down to Hayden at the service depot and let him run his eye over it. And as it turns out, there were a few issues with it, but we probably could have driven it home, but we didn't know that at the time. And in retrospect, I wouldn't have done any different. I still would have just put it in the trailer, safe in mind, because look, there is a big engine in here that we don't want to ruin. It's not that old. It's a lot of expensive stuff, and we don't want to stuff with it. Plus, there's the dangers too. We don't want to be driving down the road and something blows up, or the brakes fail, or something happens. Not interested. Safety always first. Oh, have a look in there too at that. One new air filter, one old air filter. Bit of a difference. Like brand new again. It's one of the most important things, I think, in my opinion, that you can just keep your eye on when you're out in dusty tracks, is make sure the air filters are always clean. We normally carry a little air, like off the air compressor. It's a little nozzle. We can just spray these off of a morning, just to make sure they're always, engine's always breathing nicely. But that's the new air filter, and have a look at this old one. It's for the bin. All right, so the first thing that we've been told to do is we need to flush out the bottom of the radiator, where it's sat in the mud for that long and all the silt has fallen to the bottom of it. So just on a low pressure setting on the hose, just gonna wash all the mud out. Now, quick tip for anybody who lives at home with their wife, their mother, their father, their partner, their spouse, do this on the grass, because there's gonna be mud everywhere when we get into all this. So let's do it on the grass so we don't annoy everybody inside. Keep the popularity tokens. Look at that all coming out. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the water is just brown. Right, that's all coming out pretty clear now. That's that done. Let's get stuck into the engine. Right, next bit of grease attack. I'm just gonna spray the engine, and then the secret with this is a low pressure spray off. I'm gonna use the gurney, but it's gonna be on very much low pressure. And even some of these bits here, I might just get a bit of a brush and just brush it through. Make sure we get all as much dirt off as we can. And so the last couple of things I want to check, Andy does have a pre-fuel filter in here, so we'll check that, make sure there's no water has got in there, and also the oil level, we'll pull the dipstick and we'll check that. And after that, I'm pretty happy. Hayden's already checked it all over. The engine is good to go, and the mechanics are sweet as far as this part of the car goes. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to load up the foam cannon with the Salty Captain 4-wheel drive wash, and we're going to start on the underneath of the chassis, start getting all that glasshouse dirt and silt out of the bottom of the car. Just had a look at the winch, and the rope is absolutely caked in mud. We'll disengage the clutch, and let's pull this winch out, and we'll soak it all in that bucket while we're washing the rest of the car. Oh, look at that. Let's just feed all this in here, agitate all this up. Right, that's probably it. There was plenty of mud on that. All right, let's get this foam cannon going. Plenty of this stuff in here today. Plenty. I'll close the bonnet up. I'm going to spray the underneath and the top. It's not sunny today, so it can probably just do its thing for a wee while, and then we'll spray it off, and then we'll start scrubbing. That's that done. So I'm going to bring it off the grass now and we'll wash it. All right, more of the Salty Captain RV wash. It needed it. It was more mud than car, I think, at one point. I just thought I'd say, with the Salty Captain gear, yes, they have sent us up some product. They sent us up a bucket first of all, but after using it, I actually bought some more of it myself. I actually did. Bought more because I actually rate the stuff. It's just easy to use. You don't have to bother going to the shops, just order it online, it comes to you. I will drop a code down below for, I think it's a 15% discount, MMB15, MMB15. That's certainly not why we're doing this video, because the car nearly sunk. We've got a lot of work to do yet. The good news is throughout all the underneath stuff and spraying it all off, I didn't find too much else that I'm not happy with from a visual inspection. I will get underneath it when it's all dry and I'll check everything and make sure everything's where it is, but the oil levels checked out, the pre-fuel filter checked out, everything is checked out. So Andy's a lucky boy, I reckon. She's tall. Hopefully that won't make it to camera, to the episode, because that wasn't very elegant. So that's the wash nearly done. We'll whack some drip dry on, finish it off, and then what I'm going to do tomorrow is spray some of that chassis champ all over the chassis. That's going to protect it for the next time. It's also going to make it look nice and shiny. Then at the weekend, I think I'm going to try and tackle this inside, which is going to be, that's going to be fun. But for now, I'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're just going to stop this episode for a second. I want to talk about these things. This is Ben from Explor. Now, Ben makes all sorts of protection for underneath these cars. If we had this in this episode, the Glassy, Andy would have done a lot less damage than he did. And I'm going to put these on mine as well. So this is a radiator protector. This is the
bull bar protector.
Bull bar protector.
Goes underneath the AOB one.
You've also hooked us up with
transfer case and diff lock.
And diff lock. We can go to the Glassy now, Ando and I, and not come back on a trailer the next time, hopefully. Ben also does canopies, trays, head units, mud flaps. You want anything cool? Speak to Ben, exploros.com.au. I'll pop a link below. Now, let's get back to cleaning Andy's 79. So the next thing we're going to tackle is the water problem. Now inside here, obviously we've got a bit of cleaning to do here, but if you listen down here, I'll just put the microphone. There's an awful lot of water in there still, and you can actually see it. So we're going to have to take this door card off, but first of all, there's a series of bungs here which we're going to release and let the water drip out, and when it all drips out, then we'll start cleaning it. There's dirt on my hands. So we're going to let that all drip out and we'll come back when it's dry. It's another day and I'm going to get stuck into the inside. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to rip the seats out, I'm going to rip the carpet out, I'm going to rip the center console out. I'm going to get down to the floor because that's where most of the water was. So let's put you on a time lapse, let's get the seats out and let's get the floor out and see what this whole thing looks like. When it rains, it pours, water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting. That was a bit of a mission getting everything out. The way Andy had bolted in the center console, I ended up having to grind the two nuts and bolts off. Anyway, all good. So the inside of the cab is still absolutely saturated, so is the carpet. I don't think we'll be able to reuse the carpet, but for some reason in this ute there was carpet then the vinyl, which I don't think he needs both, so I'm going to make the call. I'm going to ditch the carpet and just put the vinyl back in. I'm going to give it a good clean now, along with the mats. I'm going to hose the inside out and wash it and dry it as best I can. Just let it air dry for maybe 24 hours. And tomorrow we'll put everything back in and then I'll get tackling with the door cards because they're going to be an awful lot easier. Yeah, that's where we're up to. I was just having a squiz at this. Look at this. Oh, it's gungy. It's disgusting. That's terrible. So now we're going to get into the serious business of giving this thing a wash. So I've taken the bungs out, grommets out. I'm just going to wet this down. See all the grommets here? All the water will go out through there. Alright, it is yet another day in the saga of Andy's 79 clean. Now, got to do the door cards today. I did finish off the floor last night, so that's looking heaps better. Doesn't smell too bad in here now. It smells a little bit, but I reckon I'll finish this off today with some proper cleaning products. Now they've got all the mud out and actually give it a good clean. Hopefully that'll take the smell away. We'll get all this dashboard done. We'll get everything done in one go. I thought the carpet was going to be ruined. Got the mats done. They're all drying. But I've actually been hitting the floor mat with the gurney. And it's all been coming off. Look at the top of that. It doesn't look too bad. And if we come down here, it's all just coming off. This is actually super satisfying. I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to get it all gurneyed and then we'll hang it up to dry and then we'll get back onto the door cards. The carpets are cleaned and the vinyl's cleaned. They're all just drying. It's not the sunniest day in Brizzy, but anyway, they'll dry. The next thing we need to do is look at these door cards. So we're going to take both door cards off and see what sort of a mess is in behind this, because you can see here where the water line was, where the mud came up to. So I think the bottom of these are a bit how you going, but anyway, we'll take them off and see if we can salvage them. There is some, whoever had it before us, or Andy had put some nice plastic covering over the front, so that has protected them a bit, I think, but not from the back, and it's just chipboard or this really light MDF or something at the back. It's not real good timber, so it will have swollen and bent a bit. So let's get these off and see what mess there is. It's not as bad as I first thought. The back of this it's dirty, but I think this passenger side one we can salvage. It's not too bad. A few of these little clips had come off at the bottom, which is why it was hanging out. So I've managed to take those off and I've put them back in again, and that's not too bad. I'll take you off the camera in a second, but I'm going to show you in here. There's a whole pile of silt has gathered at the bottom of the door, so if we don't get that out, there is a chance that that'll just sit in there and fester and rust and stink. So I'm going to try and delicately get the hose in and try and clean that out, because there is those weep holes underneath that it will come out, and this will be fine. Alright, I'll get this finished. I'm sure you don't want to see me clean all of this sort of stuff out. With the rain set in, all we can do now is just clear up all the interior pieces. So I'll get these bits all cleaned, the switches. I've taken the door cards off and the speakers and everything's out, so it's now time to just get everything cleaned. Top of the morning, we are back for a last day. I'm going to get this finished today. It's Sunday today, just before Chrissy, and I really want to put this to bed. Everything's clean. I've cleaned the side steps, or the cruiser store sills. Seats are vacuumed and all the dust beaten out of them. I've re-oiled the tracks because it was really hard to push them back and forward. I threw the seat covers through the washing machine. They're done. All the speakers, the switches, they're all clean. This last door card I'm going to put on today. It's been resurrected just. Out here we've got the vinyl for the floor and the carpet's hanging up on the fence drying, so it should be dry. So today's plan is to get everything back in the car. Everything's clean, it's all dry. It's just a matter of reassembling, and then the fun stuff is we get to put on all of Explor Oz's bash plates on, which I'm really looking forward to, both mine and Andy's car. We're going to get them on later, but first of all, got to get this cruiser finished. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Andy might want to get maybe a new door card later, but in the meantime, I reckon that'll work just beautiful. With both door cards on, finally we can put the carpet in. The inside's completely dry now. It's ready to go. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Doesn't smell in here anymore. So we're going to drop the carpet in and the vinyl in and the seats in. I actually might put you in a time lapse for the whole thing because you don't need to see me assembling it all, but let's just get all this back in and make it look like a car again. Then we'll start cleaning all this other stuff. Quick blast with the interior cleaner from Salty Captain, and I reckon she'll be like brand new. You believe I'm still finding dirt. How does that even happen? Right, last we're using Salty Captain glass cleaner. Salty Captain products have helped us get this thing looking brand new again. Well, not brand new, but for a, whatever it is, age car, 2007, 8, back to something that is presentable. Salty Captain gear is really good. I don't use anything that I don't recommend myself. I love it. I use these products. Now, I'll drop a link in the description below for a discount if you want to get your hands on some Salty Captain stuff. But anyway, let's get on to the bash plates. With the outside and inside clean, now it's time to focus our attention on the Explor Oz gear. So this is all underbody protection. At the front here, we've got bash plate, then that's a radiator protector, and then at the back there, a transfer case protector. And this bit is for the bash plate that goes onto the car, then the bash plate attaches onto that, and the bull bar. Now it comes with all the fixings that you need. We're going to put all that on the Ando's car, and that will completely protect it. It's all Toyota white as well, all color matched. Now over to my car, and Ben has kindly set us up with a radiator protector again. And I've also got a transfer case protector, but I've also got a diff lock protector, which, because Andy doesn't have factory diff locks. Now, just for reference, this is the factory radiator protector that Toyota provides. So that's a bit of plastic. It is bendy. It's not going to protect much. That, on the other hand, is going to protect an awful lot more. So with that said, I'm going to whack you in a time lapse, and we will get started into installing these. It's done, it's finally done. All right, bash plates are on, radiator protectors on, transfer case protectors on, it's cleaned, it's polished, it smells nice again-ish. It's still a little bit smelly, but not too bad. Moral of the story, don't drive through big muddy bog holes without being prepared, without your snatch strap or something ready so you can get out quickly before the inside floods, before you ruin your alternator, before you have to adjust your clutch, before you break all the seals on the drive shaft. Before you do any of that, get ready, walk it, make sure it's sweet. If it's not, don't go through it. Please subscribe. See you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.